Hello everybody and welcome back to some of my favourite mods that for me are mods that I use in the game and absolutely love. Today it is the Easy Development mod. I must begin by giving a huge shout out to the Power Tools mod because that is something that I have been using a lot of because it was one of the first one of these sorts of things to come out, so I was using that a lot whilst I was also using the development tools which you have here. But this for me is, I find this a lot easier to use and there is a lot more to it, so I just thought I'd just talk you through. So if you look at if we start and just work our way through it, if you look here we're on add money. So if you look at our money now, we're 999,000. So on here, we can enter the amount. So if we wanted, say, 2 million, like so, we just type in, hit enter, and now we're 2,999,000. And if we, sorry, I keep pressing escape, and then obviously remove money is the exact same. So let's now remove 1 million. Out of it, and we're now down to 1,999,000. And then better yet, we can set our money. So if we just want to have infinite money, just keep pressing 9 on the keypad, press enter, and boom, we have more money than what we could ever spend in this game. So that is very, very handy for the likes of when you want to set a game up and for recording, because I know for myself there'll be sometimes where you'll need to buy something. Well, I think I did it with the Nexat when the Nexat pack came out, claiming that the dealership was letting us loan some equipment, so we could loan the equipment and then just reimburse ourselves the money back. And then obviously if we wanted to keep it, then we would pay for more after that. And then we have extra time scales. This is fantastic. I was using this on, I've just finished a silver run recording, and I was using this on here. So if you switch that to on, you get a little warning coming up. But now, if you go and press 8 on your keyboard, before you could only get to, was it 240 or was it 360? I can't remember. But now we can go all the way, 20,000, 40,000, 60,000. Yeah, huge. Look how fast we're passing through these days. Hence why we'll just get into the next morning. Hence why you do get, I've got to see, you can see why you get that warning, because I've gone far too far already. Right, let's knock it off there. So you can see why you get a warning. So if you're not careful, you can soon flick through a few days. You also have your HUD visibility and input, which if we take that off, you now have a clear screen. So it's perfect for if you're wanting to get a thumbnail, stuff like that. You can use this. I, for one, don't use this. There is a mod out there for, I can't remember what it's called. I really should have looked it up. But if I go Alt-H, it zooms me in and gets rid of everything for me. So that's how I take my thumbnails. Some of you may say that they're absolute rubbish, but anyways. Delete object input. So with this on, I think if I go F1 and go, I'll go up to my harvester because I don't need this. So I think, yeah, delete Massey Ferguson 8570 header. So if I now go on here and press delete, sorry, I press backspace. If I press delete, the header goes. So you can now go around deleting certain objects. I don't know whether you can delete buildings, but we can easily go and have a look now. So no, we can't delete. I know it says delete farm barn, but that's with the hide anything mod. So yeah, so we cannot delete buildings with that. So we will turn that to off. And we'll go back over here because I think this would probably be best if we go into the middle of the field now. The next one is we have show bale location, so show pallet location. So I'll do this in a wanna, that if we go onto this menu and farm products seeds, we'll get 1 bag of seed. And now we've got that 1 bag of seed, we'll sprint over here. And here we will put ourselves 1 bale. just like so. So you can see there's bag of seed in the bale. Now we retreat over here out the way and go back to this menu and up to here. Show bale location, so we turn that on, and now if you look at the mini map, you will see just next to 27 you'll see a little orange circle, and we can make that bigger for you by going on to here, and there it is. So that's telling us where our bales, so that will show you every bale that you have. Obviously we just have the one, so that is where the one is. And if we now turn that off and go to show pallet location, we will have the exact same. We now have a little circle showing us where our pallet is. And as we don't have any other pallets, I don't think, in this, well, in this save game, well, I say save game, I just open the map up, it doesn't show any more. We can, so if we turn that off, we can delete all these in due course, but we'll get to that in time. This now is one of my favourite features. If you put teleport player onto map section and you click the arrow, we can now go. So if we wanted to end up here, so if we click like so, point our arrow and whichever, so we'll point it towards, I think that's a fuel station, click again, now come off, we're now in the middle of the field. So you no longer have to go to where the 7 is and drop, we can now send ourselves anywhere. And if we go better yet, oh, I forgot I'm sprinting. If we now go into our tractor with an implement and go on the same thing again, and say we had to do some work in field 49, if we click here, point and click again, we are in the perfect place to start working. So that just means, you know, when you're doing these recordings and jump cutting and stuff, you can now do it very, very quickly. You don't have to drive everywhere, which on some of these maps it does take a bit of time. And then we also have flip vehicle. So if you flip your vehicle over and you press that, so let's just go on to here. Oh, I've pressed jump there. So we grab the tractor, let's flip it over and jump in, and now if we go flip vehicle, we're now back upright. So obviously when you're playing PC and Mac and whatnot and you have super strength, you don't really need it, but it's just an easier way. If you flip it, you can just do it straight away. And then all these settings, field of view angle, so that's set at 54 when you're in a vehicle, and when you hop out it should go to 60. Yeah, to 60. So you can change that as you like, and then just press reset and it will take you back. Spoiler alert, if you do not want to know where any of the collectibles are, I would look away now. Now I've said that, if we click on here, so 100% found, you will not see any of the collectibles, but if we take this down to 0 like so and hop off and go on to our map, if we zoom out, you will now see there is some little circles. These little circles are indicating where collectibles are. So you've got one near the farm up there, you've got one down here, and yeah, you got 1, 2 there, I think you got one over here. But anyways, I'm going to come off that, because if you are in console and you can't do that and you don't want to find them, I don't want to spoil it for you. So we'll go back to standard, which means you just can't see anything now. If we move down to our player, which I want to get back up to, where is it? I want to get back up to here for this one. So we go back to our, so this is us. So we can turn super strength on, like so, which now this should put it permanently on for us, so we can pick stuff up, throw it about. If we go and turn it off, if we hold Alt down, we can then have our super strength back. So hold Alt, click on what you want, and then you pick it back up. So it just means you don't have to have it all the time. So we'll just turn that on just in case we do need it. Next we have strength input. So this is putting your super strength on all the time as well, I think. Super strength input, toggle super strength off. Oh, so that could be the Alt button. So if we turn that off, let's hold Alt down again. Oh no, we've still got it. Well, that I would have to look maybe a bit more into. Flight mode, let's go on to. So if we turn this on, but if we leave flight state off, to fly it's Q and E. But I'm pressing Q, we're not going up. When we're in this state, you have to press J first to activate it, and then Q. So now we're flying up. So Q's up, E's down. And if we are in midair, I think, because I don't normally use it like this, but if we press J now, we now deactivate it, and we hit the ground. But how I normally use it, using J is a lot easier. It's only something I've recently just learned. Is if we go flight state on, we now no longer have to press J. We can now just go straight in and we're flying. The only problem with this is when you want to go get in a vehicle, can't do it. You have to make sure that you turn flight mode off, and now we can get into vehicles. You can though, with flight mode on, you can tab to your vehicles. So jump delay, this is obviously when you press jump, how long you want it to delay. So for me, I think I just leave it on, I don't even know what it was on then, let's just put it on to standard. Jump multiplier, so if I press jump there now, we jump a tiny bit. If we now go to 2, we are now we should be in the Olympics for high jump doing that. Run multiplier. When you start your first save game with this, you automatically start on 4x. So this you just want to knock down to 2x, because obviously your normal walking speed, and then when you sprint it goes to 2. You can just turn that off if you would like to, but it's worth keeping it on. Now if we go to, so no clip, I'll be honest, I don't know what that does. I've never used it, never had a chance, never affected me, so I'll leave that as it is. But the wood cutting marker. So when we go to a tree, you see you have your little ring. We can now turn it off. So it's gone. And you'll also see what we can do. If I would look at there, you'll see you've got your little aim point right in the middle of the screen. We can now also go and turn that off. So that's now gone. And like I say, if you keep looking in the middle of the screen, let's turn it back on again, and there you go, you've got your little circle. So you don't lose it. If we go somewhere, if I just show you, so if we turn the aim marker off, there's obviously no aim marker, is our super strength, but turn super strength on, it comes back for when you're looking at stuff. If we go over here, it goes. So it's quite nice for the realism that you're getting rid of that marker. It is nice to have, but obviously when you have super strength on or something like that, it does flick back. If we turn super strength off, it disappears, which is lovely. These debug tools, I don't mess around with them, I don't play with them, you know, but they're there if you want to do it. Now if we just go into the field, if we go down onto here, objects and fill types, obviously I've just shown you we can add bales in, so we can go square, round. With this we can then increase the bale size. If you go to obviously 488 centimeters, you're going to do cotton, but we can do a square grass bale. We can wrap it and we can have it in whatever. Let's go custom. We can go for a bright red custom, turn that on, and there we go, straight in front of us we have our bale. So under here, the available bale types, if you want to look through this, it will tell you all the available bales that you can have. Fermenting bales, this is the one bale that we do have, which obviously the location is the coordinates on the map for where it is, the size, how much grass, and how much it's fermented, which obviously is nothing at the minute. We have two bales. We have this one and we have the small one in the far distance. And if we click this, would you like to remove all bales from the map? Yes please. that bale's gone, the bale in the distance has gone, and likewise with the pallets, we can go through all the pallets, or we can go mods, DLCs, big bags, you know, we can cut it down slightly for us. We can pick whatever we want. We have one pallet out of our limit of 300, which is over there, the seed pallet. And if we again remove pallets, yes please, she's gone. This apple tree does not start here in this map. This apple tree was put down by going through here. So we can plant trees now. These trees that you plant, they do not grow though. They do grow if you want them to grow by the looks of it. That's something I didn't see when I was going through it all. So we can go through and go through all the trees. So we can go deadwood, let's plant one of these ones. And there we go. We now have a deadwood tree in front of us, which has cost us absolutely nothing. We can also, if we go just up to here to the add log side, so we've got Scotch pine, lodgepole pine. If we want an 8-metre one, we can click that a few times, and there we go. We now have a load of wood, which the easy dev, this mod is brilliant for those who want to do sort of role play things where you can make sure the money always stays the same, you're adding stuff in, you know, to add emphasis and sort of more creativity to your role play, which I think is brilliant. And I'll show you, there will be another thing just slightly coming up. I think it's in this one, tip to ground. So we can here, so let's say wheat, let's do 10 meters. That could be a bit extortionate. So you could role play with this. If we click yes, where's he gone? If we click yes, oh, invalid value given. So let's go to 2. Invalid value given. So it's not letting us do that at the minute. If we go to here, enter amount, sorry. So if we go 5,000 litres and click on there, we now have 5,000 litres in front of us, which that is brilliant, because if you wanted to, if we jump into this vehicle, I can just, whilst we're here, I can show you on here that with the vehicle we can now fill it. So fill unit 1 is diesel, fill unit 2 we can now fill it with wheat. But what I will say is if we go to set amount and go 4,000, you'll now see we have 4,000 litres of wheat in. But doing this, you can now simulate, say, a crash in the game, where we can now go pick our lorry up, turn it over, and if you're doing a role play, don't tip over like that, lorry. That's not helpful. You're not proving my you're not helping my cause here. So yeah, so you could put that down like so, if it would stay down, or a trailer, and you can pretend like the lorry's gone over and you've spilled, which after you've done that sort of scene as it were, you can then go back to here and clear tip area. So if we did 2 meters, we'll just do 3 meters. Let's see what this does. Click on that, and we've cleared a bit of it. So let's go over to this bit. If we just up that 26, and it's all gone. So without having to spend any money, we're able to clear it all up. Interestingly, okay, I was just going to check whether it cleared the trailer or not. Show tip collisions. I've had that on and I can't work that out, can't find out where that is, but you can switch it on. So enable debug. Okay, so if you press F5 you should see something. But now if we go into, our time's flying through there. Let's just show off another bit of this mod whilst we're here. If we go to the weather, so set weather sunny, you can set the time. So we'll take the time back to 10 AM. We'll go sunny. We will take this to June. Click on that. So we're advancing now 5 months to get that to where we want it to be. Look at that. Nice, bright, sunny day. So I digress, just purely because we were struggling to see. So we're now onto here. So reload vehicles. So you can reload or reset. These will bring your vehicles back if you lose them in water. I would strongly advise, I think it's reload, because if you do reload, you keep what's inside of your vehicle. If you go reset, you lose everything. So reload is definitely your best option. If we go, obviously fill levels I showed you, so we can do the diesel. So as you can hear it running now, we can empty it. And now refuel vehicle please. We can go to fill and it starts back on again, and then fill unit 2, we can now put whatever we want into the back. We can set the condition of it. So if we go dirt, let's put it up to 70%, click that, we now have a very dirty truck. If we want to go to wetness, let's go 100%. Has that made it wet? Yeah, it has done, yeah. So wetness, what else do we have? Wear, damage. So the damage, that may be a good one, so we can take that to... If we look at the... Oh, it's already damaged the most, so we can't... Well, what we can do is hopefully damage set 0%. We are now back up to full repair. And again, none of this is costing us any money whatsoever. Fuel level, obviously with this being a truck with the all-in-one, we can do that either through fill unit 1 here to do fuel, or here. If it is a truck, shall we just, let's quickly just go and buy one so we can show you. So now we have a little vintage tractor with a very big trailer for it. If we now press F12, you'll see the fill unit is now set, so that goes straight on to your trailer. So you've got your wheat, your fill to what you want, and then you have your fuel level here that you can set. We can also remove all our vehicles. So if you click this button, are you sure you would like to remove all vehicles for the map? So if you start on, say, New Farmer, because you like all these settings on New Farmer and you like having your money, but you don't want any of the vehicles, that is a very easy way to get rid of it all. Now the placeables. So we can remove placeables. Would you like to remove all placeables on the map? You can do that. Obviously, you're just removing absolutely everything. So fill level, so all NPC owned. So that means all the production points are owned by the computer. So we can go onto here, and if we go, so from this menu we can, I've just changed, so we've taken off, so NPC owned, they now own nothing, because we have just transferred all the ownership of all the productions to us. And from here, obviously if you're set owner, so that's us, my farm, so changed 11 production points to my farm successfully. It's a set state, so this is to all of them, we can turn them all on. And then the output mode, we can now change all our productions from storing to selling, distributing to whatever we would like. And this will tell us that we can now fill. So change all input fill levels on 11 productions successfully. So if we go onto here now, you'll see I've now filled up every production that is on the base game. And we're now, and you'll see everything's storing and everything's activated. So it's a very easy way to do everything, to put everything, well, if you want to cheat, put everything into your name, and you'll make a lot of money from that. If we go to the map, we want to go back up to here to demonstrate this one, and we may just want to move our truck out the way. I'm sure there wasn't a tree there earlier. So if we go to here, we can now set field fruit. So if we click on this, it brings up this menu. So field 27 is what we're in. That's why it's whatever field you're in, unless you did all the fields, and you can change. Ooh, my apologies. So we can change on here. So field 27, we want it to be wheat, and we want it to be ready to harvest. The ground type wants to be, well, we can put it to none, or there, ready to harvest. Ground layer, we just want this so we can have it however we want to look. If you're playing with periodic ploughing, we can go ploughed yes. Fertilizer 100%, lime 100%, stubble shredded, so yes, because it's being mulched, let's say. Let's go on to here. We should be able to get rid of all the weeds, say no weeds whatsoever. But anyway, to put large withered stones, we can change this. Needs rolling, we'll put that to no. Let's put stones to large. Buy farmland, so if you don't own it, we can now buy it. And if we click confirm, we now have a lovely field of wheat. And obviously if you look in our bottom corner, we do a precision farming on, so it won't say, but obviously it would tell you 100% fertilised, 100% limed. You know, so we would have a very, very good crop of wheat to come off here. And again, we can just go back onto here if we wanted it to be nothing, and if we wanted it to be dead, confirm. There we go, our wheat field has now withered. We can set the field ground, so ground type, we can put that to grass. We can remove the foliage. Let's just see what that does. There we go. We now have all the weeds and just a blank grass bottom. If we want to go weeds growing, we can take that. It removes them all, but in the next month they will be here. Stones, picked, blocked, there's nothing there. Large, medium, small, none. And again, we can buy our farmland from here. So up here, set farmland owners. So if we go all the way down to here, it should say all, my farm. And if we click this tick, we will now own all the land on the map, which I'll just show you to begin with. We own the normal bit that you start with. But if I now go on to here, my farm, let's take this down again to all and click the tick. We will now have a brief pause as the game tries to load in that we own every field. You can now say that we own every farmland in game. It also shows you what you can't own in the game, which I don't know why they do that, because it would be quite nice to own everything. I can understand for down here, but for up here it would be quite nice. So let's go back onto here. So advanced growth. So advanced growth stage is only available when the game setting seasonal growth is switched to no. So when it's on no, we can change how fast stuff grows, and we can make it ready to harvest there and then. And then the set growth period, so we're in June. If we will click that, updating all this, okay, so we could have a bit of a wait again. We are now in May, and the weeds are here. So we've changed, so we can change everything, which makes this brilliant. And then second to last, as I showed you earlier, we changed the month to June. We changed the time of day to get us so that it was nice and bright. We can reload environment, reload weather. We can remove tire tracks, all of them, you know, in a certain, or we can move it to a certain meter squared. We can set the weather. We can add snow. We can then go remove snow. We can enter how much snow, you know, we can also add salt. So there's the snow that we've added. I did click remove snow, and you can see it in the distance. It's now starting to remove it all, and the snow's now gone. And then finally, if you have any questions about anything, you have the help pod. which you can go through here and look at through absolutely everything, and it will tell you what to do if you ever get stuck. So I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I hope that has been helpful to any of you, and I am sure I will post another video with some other mods that I do find, well, that for me are just invaluable. So I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.